Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day today. We got some truck racing at Chicago, some Xfinity racing, and then some Cup racing as well at Chicagoland Speedway. But before we start things off, we have some breaking news again for the silly season coming up. A brand new team again coming into the Cup Series, this time Colleague Racing. They have announced today they will be expanding into the Cup Series next season with Justin Haley driving. The number 16 car sponsor is to be determined, but they will be the second new Cup entry next season alongside Red Bull Racing, which is returning to NASCAR after departing after the 2011 season in the Cup Series. So we got two new teams coming to the Cup Series, and there could be a potential team or two maybe expanding upon their team that they already have. Not 100% sure on that, but definitely look for some news on that here before we get to the playoffs kind of area of this season. I don't have a paint scheme made for the Colleague car yet, but once I do, I will show you guys it right away. But we announced it right off the bat. Justin Haley will be a Cup Series rookie next season. We can confirm. Now, is Red Bull, a team that's coming back, as I mentioned, still hasn't actually announced their driver yet. Still working on finalizing that now, so we'll have news eventually on that as well. But we come through into the Truck Series weekend where we had subscriber Trevor Jordan in the truck, and he actually made a mistake in qualifying, hit the outside wall, so he started a little bit down the field here outside the top 15 even, so he was trying to get down to that bottom line as quick as he could and move his way through the field. Now, as we've had a great season so far here in the Truck Series, and we look to continue that into today in Chicago for the Camping World 225. As he went down into turn one, you can see all the ground he has to make up, but he was not waiting around here. He was trying to force a 3 wide up the middle there on the inside of the 3 of Jordan Anderson, on the outside of the 38 of Chandler Smith, and he would move his way forwards very quickly. Now, as he came through a little bit later, made it 3 wide here up the inside of the 21 of Zane Smith, and then up the inside of the 18 there as he went down into turn 1, Ty Gibbs in that 18 truck, and he moved his way up inside the top 10, and by the time we came through to the final few moments of this race, to the final lap, he was about P7, but that wasn't saying much because he was only like about 3 car lengths behind the leader as he went down into turn 1, now right up behind the 16 truck as he goes down into turn 1 and out of turn 2, so all of a sudden, Trevor Jordan on the final lap finds himself in P3 going for potential victory. There were 4 wide down the back straightaway though, and that was really holding him back as he went down into turn 3 on this final lap. Stuart Friesen, the Canadian, out in front now as Trevor slides up the track through here on the exit of turn 4, but tries to at least get a top 3 out of it, coming through to the line behind that number 16 truck. He barely gets in front of the 40 and manages to get a very strong top 3 finish here in Chicago, which is honestly a bit of a surprise. We've gone like 2 races in a row now without a victory in the Truck Series, so I don't know what's going on with this team now. As you see the rest of the finishing order though on your screen, Austin Wayne Self at the very bottom of the field. But a great run by Trevor Jordan here, continuing the strong momentum this team has been carrying all season long, and hopefully we can just, like I said before, keep this up through the whole season. Now, as Derek Kraus, he picked up yet another Xfinity Series win, so it took him a little bit to get that first one, but since he won that first race, he continues to win. Now 3 wins on the season for the Xfinity Series rookie of Derek Kraus. Haley Deegan had a strong finish as well up inside the top 5, Christian Eckes and whatnot. Now, as I don't expect to see any of those rookies there like Sam Mayer, Creed, Deegan, Eckes, or Kraus to move up to the Cup Series this coming season. Now, as we come through though into the Cup Series weekend with myself here in the number 24 Razor Camaro, 3 races in a row. I think we've run this green and black Razor paint scheme now. As we would get underway though for our qualifying lap, the goal was to hit a 30.214, and usually the short run for me at Chicagoland never goes very well, so qualifying is very important, and I made a bit of a mistake right there, clipping the apron, and then we come through now out of turns 4. Definitely wasn't the greatest lap, but I felt like other than that turn 1 apron mistake, the lap was pretty clean, but we come through to cross the line way off the goal with the 30.928 and qualify P23 for the Camping World 400. So obviously not the position we would like to be in here for the start of this race. A lot of ground we're going to have to make up here in this first and opening stage in Chicagoland. As you see the rest of the order, Timmy Hill at the very bottom of the field as we check out who's going to be starting up front. Austin Cindric rounding out the top 20 along with Logano in P19. But on pole, it's the 95 of Harrison Burton with the 5 of Larson joining him on the front row here in Chicago. Alright boys, it's been kind of up and down lately with the DNF in Michigan, but then we got that surprise win in Sonoma, which I still can't even believe Denny came into the pit lane there coming to the white flag, but we'll take it whatever way we can get it, right? So hopefully we can carry over some of that momentum into Chicago. Now you heard myself on the radio for the little pre-race talk to the team now as we get ready to go green for the Camping World 400 at Chicagoland Speedway. Ross Chastain in that number 42 car sent to the back after failing optical scanning station multiple times. As there you see your pole winner of Harrison Burton. As you guys know, he will be moving into the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry next season. So very excited to see what he's going to be able to do over there. He's done superb in that 95 car so far as Harrison Burton and Kyle Larson lead the field to the green flag here today at Chicagoland as we are down here in P22, moving up one spot due to Ross Chastain being sent to the back of the field now as we go down towards turn 1 behind the rookie of Todd Gilliland, who's put up similar numbers to what Ryan Newman was doing in that 6th car now. So Gilliland, I think, doing a solid job in his rookie season in that 6th car. Of course, he's not really in the fight for Rookie of the Year. That's really down, I think, to just Austin Cindric and maybe Zane Smith, but I think Cindric is really just running away with the Rookie of the Year at this point now as we come through the center of 3 and out of 4. Now the 20 of Christopher Bell. He looks to my outside as he goes down this front straightaway. Bell not having a great season in his first time with that 20 car now as we go down towards turns 1. He's going to have to win to get into the playoffs now. He won 2 races last season in that 95 car that Harrison Burton is driving, and then he's gotten into better equipment and hasn't won at all in that 20 car. Just a bit of a learning curve for that 95 now as we came through, though a little bit later now on the exit of turn 4 lap 2. I was stuck here on the outside and it was really going against me because I was dropping down the order very quickly now as we were almost down to 30th place as we were going into turns 1 on this 3rd lap as Denny Hamlin was actually up there battling for the lead, but I was falling down the order like I mentioned as Tyler Reddick went by on the inside, and then the 17 of Chris Buescher was trying to go by as well. So we were down to P31 here within the first 2.5 laps at Chicagoland, which was extremely disappointing, and I was just looking for the opportunity to get down to the bottom, which I had now as the 17 and the 8 had gotten past. But Kyle Busch, he was now actually out in front for a brief amount of time here, and now as you see me get down to that bottom line, and immediately we get up the inside of the 8 of Tyler Reddick. Now force the 3 wide up the inside of Buescher as well as Austin Dillon as we go down into turns 1. Daniel Suarez there in that number 99 Trackhouse car as we have already seen him gone to victory lane this season. He is in the playoffs now if he can stay in the top 30 in points now as Denny Hamlin, though he would actually retake the lead from Kyle Busch as we come through out of turns 4 on lap 5. Now back up inside the top 25 after passing John Hunter Nemechek up the inside of Ryan Blaney, using this apron to my advantage a lot here in the trial now as we would pass the 12 car out of turns 4. So move up into P24, then get to the back of Stenhouse, look up the inside of him as well, and now we are going to move up into the 23rd position as we came through to start lap 7 with 13 laps to go in stage 1. But now Noah Gragson in the number 1 car had actually taken the lead, and what he was doing differently than the other drivers is he was actually holding on to the lead. So we come through out of turn 2, going down this back straightaway now up the inside of the 96 of Brandon Jones, another Cup rookie this season. He's had a decent performance for a rookie in that number 96 car. Daniel Suarez originally drove that car, and then it went to Harrison Burton, and now it's over to Brandon Jones. Some news may be coming about those teams too in the future. They might not be around next season. Same for the 95 car, but still have yet to confirm that. Now as we go down this back straightaway, we would now pass the pole sitter of Harrison Burton. He went down all the way to P21 within the first 10 laps of this race. Now as we would also get past Todd Gilliland finally, but this whole first stage was just us working our way back forward from the ground we lost on the initial start. So we had gotten up inside the top 20 now to the back of Cole Custer. A little bit of contact with him right there as we went down this back straightaway. Now we would, though, go 3 wide with Custer as well as Eric Jones in the McLaren. Jones locked into the playoffs with that win in Michigan, the race we DNF'd last episode now as we came through out of turn 4. So McLaren with a victory in their first season in NASCAR definitely has to boost their confidence now as Jones is being outrun by his rookie teammate of Zane Smith as we would run down our teammate as well of Chase Elliott for that 16th position. I would actually drive right on by Elliott on the outside. I'd just cruise right on by him as we went down into turn 3. So we now move up into P16 as we'd also run down the 23 of Bubba Wallace for 15th place. And we would just continue on our charge towards the top 10 here as the laps were winding down in this first and opening stage. So we run down the rookie of Smith and then the 88, our affiliate teammate of William Byron, who's also picked up a victory this season in the career mode. His first victory it was now as we came through the center of 3 and out of turn 4. So now we look to the inside of that 88 and to the inside of the 7 now of Smith as we pass Byron and continue to make our charge forwards up now to P13 with 3 laps to go. When stage 1 is Noah Gragson is trying to hold on to that stage 1 victory. But we would close the gap very quick on these cars in front of us of Martin Truex Jr. and Christopher Bell, who were battling it out as we came through, approaching the final lap now in the stage. Gragson actually handed the lead away to Kevin Harvick on the final lap, but then he took it back. As you can see on the track map, they're battling it out for that stage win as I passed both the JGR drivers of Truex and Bell. We move up into P11, no chance of stage points. As you can see, Cindric in that 10th spot, way too far down to even think about trying to run him down as we go down the track straight away into turn 3 for the final time. So Gragson actually holds Harvick off for the stage victory, picks up a playoff point now in his charge of trying to get into the playoffs this season. As we come through out of turns 4, we will come through to cross the line for P11 in stage 1. So it wasn't a terrible stage considering where we started and how the start of this race went, where we fell down to P31. So we gained, 20 spots after we fell down to 31st in the first handful of laps in the stage now, as we're going to come into the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires. And I was thinking about making some potential adjustments to the car because it didn't seem to fire off very well on the start of this race, but I also felt like it was too early to tell based off of just how the start was in general. So I decided to hold back on the adjustments. Now, as you see the rest of the order there in stage 1, Quinn Helf in the 00 at the bottom. In last episode, he actually drove under Daniel Suarez as well as Cole Custer at Sonoma. But we gained 2 spots on the pit lane, move up into P9 for the start of stage 2 as Kozlowski dropped 6 spots out of the top 10 with a poor pit stop. And for the start of stage 2, which is now underway, led by Noah Gragson and Kevin Harvick, we're going to go through into the AMP segment. Alright, there you had today's AMP segment here at Chicagoland Speedway. You saw the restart. We restarted P9, but we're now in P12, and it definitely could tell that the car just does not take off very well on the short run. So we are definitely going to have to try and make some adjustments as soon as we can on the pit stop and hope that maybe it will help us out. But we would continue to struggle on the short run here within the first handful of laps of the stage. Bubba Wallace now got up my inside. William Byron in the 88 putting some pressure on just behind us. So we go down into turn 1 on the outside. Now as the 88 actually drives into our left rear quarter panel, he goes sideways. Smith turns him fully around almost, and now Byron hits the wall. The caution comes out here in Chicagoland. Not sure what the 88 was trying to do. I didn't feel like I came down on him, but it felt like he just kind of sent it into the corner and hit me in the quarter panel. I guess maybe we were both going for the same piece of real estate, I guess you could call it, and unfortunately Byron took the worst impact of that. The caution came out. Everybody, though, was staying out, and we would get ready to go green here from P13. So yes, like I said, not really sure what William was trying to pull off there. He's still up here inside the top 20 in P16 to be exact, as you would get back underway here for the restart. Now William just on the row behind us, fortunately for him, so he didn't really lose too much, maybe one position or two to Zane Smith and Austin Dillon, as we would get underway with 10 laps remaining in this second stage. But yeah, a weird moment for sure. Now as Kyle Busch actually leads the way right now as we come through out of turn 2 up the inside of the 20 of Christopher Bell. We are actually now 3 wide with Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell as we go down into turns 3 here, as you got Austin Cindric as well as Denny Hamlin side by side. Just in front of us, Noah Gragson back into P2, trying to put some pressure on the back of that 18 of Kyle Busch. Bubba Wallace so nearly gets cleared down the front straightaway as we come through. Still 3 wide, though, barely with him, as well as Christopher Bell in that 20 car now as we go down into turn 1, trying to not clip that apron, but you can just see how much better the other drivers are on that short run. Bubba just drove right on by us, and now we're still side by side with Bell. We came through to the end of lap 10 of stage 2. We finally got by Bell, as Noah Gragson actually took the lead back away from Kyle Busch, the 3-time Cup Series champion, most recently last season here in the career mode. Now as we dive up the inside, though, of Bubba here with 5 laps to go in stage 1. Kyle Busch had once again taken the lead, but now Keselowski was up to second, Gragson down to third as we came through out of turn 2, still battling it out with Bubba Wallace, but we would eventually be able to get clear of Bubba and hold on to that 11th position as we went down into turn 3, and now try to run down Chase Briscoe in the final handful of laps of the second stage to potentially get a top 10 area as we came through out of turn 2 with 3 laps to go. The smoke up ahead is actually from Noah Gragson as I hit the outside wall. The caution comes out for the smoke up ahead. Like I mentioned, Noah Gragson, who was battling for the lead at the time of that engine expiring, he is out of the race. The stage 1 winner, one of the fastest cars here. Gragson's playoffs hopes are really getting slim now with a moment like that as his engine has failed him. That was really unfortunate for Noah. Now I think we need to make some adjustments though, guys. It just doesn't take off very well on the short run, so hopefully we can kind of loosen it up or something. We did indeed make some adjustments there on the pit lane now, as we did gain 1 spot as well on the pit lane up to P9, just like we did for the start of stage 2. Now as we get ready though to go green for the 3rd and final stage. So Kyle Busch, he was awarded the stage victory there over Gragson, as I believe just as Gragson's engine went, he was actually passing Kyle for the lead, because I think I saw on the track map just before it happened the one car went to the front. So very unfortunate for a driver like Noah Gragson, who's not in a great position right now and trying to make the playoffs in his 2nd season of his Cup Series career. As Logano got hung out 3 wide there. A terrible restart for the Penske driver and champion of the 2018 Cup season as we go down into turn 3 behind our teammate of Alex Bowman. Bowman in the worst position right now of all Hendrick drivers. He's very borderline on making the playoffs or not, so we're definitely going to try and help him out here in the final parts of the season. Kyle Larson, as long as there's not a bunch of new winners, he should comfortably be inside of the playoffs. But Larson actually making a move right now as we speak for the lead here, so he's trying to make it easy and win himself into the playoffs. Now as we come through out of turn 2, my car once again was just not taking off very well here on the short run. So even those adjustments that I did to kind of loosen up the car and whatnot, because it felt really tight at times on the short run, but it was just not working still as we came through out of turn 4, getting cleared by the 14 of Briscoe, and now Joey Logano as well is going to go by on my outside. So now we're trying our best to hang on to a top 10 position with 26 laps to go here in the first stage, but we came through out of turn 4. Now Christopher Bell had gotten up my inside as Kevin Harvick had taken the lead here in Chicago. We saw him battling for the stage lead earlier in stage 1 with Noah Gragson. But Gragson, of course, came out on top of that battle. Now, as you can see, the gap opened up between myself, unfortunately, in 10th place of Christopher Bell, as we came through approaching the final 20 laps of this race here in Chicago now, as we're just trying to just get that long run going. And sure enough, as the laps were going on, we were starting to get the car to roll in a little bit now, but that would not matter because the caution just came out at a terrible time with 20 laps to go. So we are going to have to come into the pit lane here. I was kind of not sure what to do on the pit stop here because I felt like you can actually make it on field with 1 can. So I was thinking that 2 tires might be the call, but I decided to do 4 tires anyways. Honestly, we have nothing for these guys up in front of us, so we might as well just throw 4 tires on it no matter what. So that's what I decided to do, and it ended up being the right call actually. Here, as you're going to see when we cycle out. So we come in the 11th position, and we come out a position above that, overtaking Christopher Bell for P10. So everybody took 4 tires, so we made the right call. If we would have taken 2 tires, we would have been doomed. But Austin Cindric took the lead on the pit stop. Kevin Harvick dropped 2 positions down into P3, so we are back underway with 18 laps to go right on that quarter panel of Joey Logano now, as it's Briscoe and Cindric on that front row. As we go down towards turns 1, Logano decides to drive up in front of me and leave the door wide open for Bell. Then he checks up. I get out of the throttle to not run into the back of the 22, and it destroys my momentum on the exit of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Just still being rivals with Joey Logano made me really not want to run into the back of him. I actually might have hit him a little bit, but it just destroyed our momentum here as we came to the center of 3 and 4. So honestly, looking back, I should have just drove into the back of him now. It really wouldn't have affected anything. It would have just prolonged our rivalry by at least another race now, as Kevin Harvick, though, quickly moved himself back to the front of the field. He had passed both Chase Briscoe as well as Austin Cindric in that 21 car, and now was trying to run away with his first potential victory of the season. It's been over a season since Kevin Harvick has won. A lot of doubters in the career mode have been wondering, is Harvick getting close to the end of his career with his struggles? He's currently outside of the playoffs. He's close on points, but he's still outside now as we were down to P20 at this point after just a terrible restart. But we finally get back on the fight towards the top 10. We passed the number 10 of Matt DiBenedetto, closed in on the back of the 0-2 McLaren Camaro of Eric Jones. As we went down into turns 3, we finally were able to lunge up that inside of him, and then we came through at a turn 4, being able to complete that pass, closing in on the back of Chase Elliott. But once again, the caution comes out now with 14 laps to go, and this will force about an 11 lap dash or so for the rest of the field here as we're going to get ready to take the green flag. Nobody coming into the pit lane now as Kevin Harvick looks to potentially go for that first win on the season. This is a really big race right here for Kevin Harvick. Kyle Larson joins him up in P2, and then on row number 2 we got Brad Keselowski and Christopher Bell, and Bell in a must-win situation. I would not expect him to lay back here. So myself and my teammate Chase Elliott starting alongside of myself are way behind the top 10 right now as we get back going with it. It's going to be a 10 lap dash here in Chicago. Martin Truex Jr. just behind myself in his final season. Right now, the only driver actually retiring from the career mode this season. In the Cup Series last season, we had multiple drivers retire, like Kurt Busch, David Reagan, Brendan Gaughan, and stuff. Now, as we come through the center, though, of turns 1 out of turn 2, I have a big run on the back of our affiliate teammate Byron. I launch to the outside, make it 3 wide with Byron as well as Chase Elliott and that number 9 Napa Auto Parts Camaro as we go down into turn 3. That really was probably the wrong move to make, to go 3 wide, because I have a bit of a mistake there nearly into the outside, while Truex took full opportunity, drove through the middle past us as we go down this front stretch, and now we're still down here in P20 looking for the opportunity to get to that bottom lane as we go down into turn 1. Kevin Harvick, though, holds on to the lead over second place now of Brad Keselowski. Kyle Busch into third, Kyle Larson down to fourth place. Logano up there in the mix as well for the top 5 as we go down this backstretch. Now ahead of the 10 of DiBenedetto. I slide in behind the 19 in front of the 10, and now we're back down to the inside. So immediately we get on the move here as soon as they were able to get to the bottom. So we get up the inside of Truex as we came through to 8 laps to go. Now in front of us, 3 wide between Elliott, Byron, as well as Chastain. So I would follow through to the inside now at the 42 of Chastain, as Elliott still 3 wide with Byron and Briscoe now as we came through out of turns 4 up the inside now with the 14 as Chastain forces it 3 wide as we cut down almost onto the apron there, as I decided to actually stay up this time, which was a rare occurrence in this race here as we're up the inside of Byron. And now the fight to get a top 10 is on, because we are picking up some speed as these tires wear. So we come through out of turn 2 up the inside of the 9 now, trying to move ourselves into P14 and then potentially get to the inside of Daniel Suarez in that number 99 car and move up into P13. Just in front of him, we got the 21 of Austin Cindric. Sure enough, I actually made some contact there with the 99 going into turn 1. Now again, there for like a third time, he goes sideways into the corner, and he saves it. A big save there from Daniel Suarez. That was all on me there. I was trying to get to the inside of him, and I drove into the back of him 3 times. Now, as I did not mean to do that whatsoever as we came through, coming down this front stretch. Now 3 wide was Cindric and Austin Dillon here with a handful of laps to go in this race as Kevin Harvick leads over second place of Kyle Larson now as we're 3 wide through the center of 1 and out of turn 2. Austin Dillon, he pulls out of it, so now just 2 wide between myself and Cindric for that 11th position as we continue on our charge towards the top 10, kind of like we did in stage 1 when we went from like P31 to P11. So we're now up into 11th as we came through out of turn 4, but we would run down Bubba Wallace as well as Zane Smith in the McLaren, the rookie, up there in front of us as we go down into turns 3, and now we are going to move our way into the top 10. What a charge through the field it has been once again as we come through to turn 4, clearing the 23 up the inside still of Zane Smith as we go down this front straightaway. Harvick leads by a few car lengths over Kyle Larson, who's putting the pressure to his inside as we go down into turn 1. We will now clear the 7 of Smith through the center of the corner, so we come through to a lap and a half to go. Harvick up top, Larson to the bottom, pretty much right at his bumper as it came through out of turn 4, coming through to the final lap here in Chicagoland. So no overtime today, has actually clipped the outside wall there out of turns 4, but we've had a history of overtimes here in these last few races now as we go down towards turns 1 on this final lap. Harvick still up top, Larson to the bottom, but Larson just can't get the run to get even with Harvick. So now Harvick leads down the back straightaway for the final time here as they go down into turn 3. Harvick took the top, and so did Larson, so Larson has absolutely nothing for Harvick here today as we go down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in Chicagoland for the Camping World 400. Kevin Harvick, it's been over 1 season, but he will return to victory lane today over Kyle Larson in Chicago as we come through to cross the line in the 9th position as Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 10. Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Logano, 3rd, 4th, and 5th as we check out the rest of the order. Elliott fell down all the way to P20 by the time the race had come to an end. And at the very bottom, we got 2 DNFs. Eric Jones in the McLaren actually DNF'd, along with Noah Gragson, who was battling for the lead earlier in the race in stage 2 when he blew that engine. So now we are going to come through to check out the point standings after the race. But what a race it was. It was certainly a more calm race compared to what we've seen recently with Sonoma. Just a bunch of chaos in the final 5 laps or so of that race, and with Hamlin just coming into the pit lane and whatnot. And then we had the DNF in Michigan. So some chaos that's been happening recently. But now we have a bit of a calm down here in Chicago with the victory going to Kevin Harvick for the first time in over a season. So he's now locked in to the playoffs now. As you see, Keselowski still winless this season. Larson, Briscoe, Cindric, the guys all in on points, and then Bowman, Blaney, Custer, Gregson, Bubba Wallace, the first 5 in or out on points now. And going into the next episode for the Pocono doubleheader, the first race of that doubleheader will be the brand new rules package from NASCAR here in the career mode, where they will be testing it out for that specific race, where every single car will have an equal engine, so anybody can win at Pocono. I'm very confident in that. Hopefully it's not really a surprise winner, because I don't want to see the playoff grid get shaken up too much, but who knows what's going to happen. As always though, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you do know what to do. And just before we end it, I just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Aiden, Tony, Dylan, Joseph, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Mr. Johnson too. He just changed his name to Illinois Diecast, NASCAR on Dogs, Devin Roth, sorry, and then Eric Chouette, as well as Matthias Hansen. You guys help out so much, and I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one for the brand new rules package at Pocono Raceway for the Pocono doubleheader with equal engines for every car. So thank you all for watching, and have yourselves a great day, everybody.